Misfits to play.
Yeah, I really don't like the scaling. I want to see early aggression, and that's why I think going blue side. Their one win was the first one of the series. They were on blue. If they can get back into that form with some more aggressive champions in the bottom lane, in the jungle that can play early, we've been saying it over and over again, that's how they get themselves a good spot.
So, do they first pick Alistar or do they take the Kai'Sa on their side? They actually ban it completely here. Thresh is now left open.
Exactly, that's the champion. So we already had Mickey X's Rakan banned away. Now Jack Troll will certainly want the Thresh, you would assume. Now we have seen Thresh paired with both Draven, which is banned, and Varus, which is a very strong kill lane, especially around that level 6 mark. It really changes things in this draft.
This is the perfect pick and ban song for Game 4 where Vitality needs to just get a 3-1 win on their side so they have everything set in place to go to Worlds as a second seed. It is once again that first pick Alistar, and I think it's smart, especially with the Kai'Sa ban.
3 games in a row, blue side first pick Alistar once again in Mickey's hands. The response last time was Braum Kai'Sa, obviously with Kai'Sa away, it's Ezreal.
And this is pretty good for Misfits now because they should not be able to lose against this bot lane 2v2 on the side of Vitality. They can actually now rely a little bit more on Hansama to match what Attila is doing.
And with an Ezreal Braum first lock-in, this makes me think that Vitality are looking to play more through their solo laners. We already saw Jizuke dominate in the mid lane, but maybe if they want to put Cabochard on something that can carry, this is a good game for it.
Cold asked for it, and he got it right now with the Varus. It really sets up a lot of plays around this bot lane for Misfits. You have double engaged now with Varus ulti and Alistar itself. No surprise top lane with Cho'Gath. But man, we look at Misfits trying to win on bottom side.
Well, you have the Varus too to pressure on early. There is a key change. So the Cho'Gath we saw dominated in Game 1. Games 2 and 3 wasn't really that big of a factor, but the Scion, the CC, the tank potential that Cabochard brought to the table is something that Alphari envied and now has.
Yeah, look for Alphari to sometimes walk bot lane from base and then be another threat with ulti on his side. If they lock in the Gragas here, again, it can be swapped around to top lane as well, but Kikis Gragas had a very, very bad start to the game. He kept trying to force plays, even though he didn't have the numbers advantage on his side, and he got punished for it. Had some decent fights later, but it was an issue early game.
So the biggest question now is, what does Maxlor go for? Because it could be another situation where he picks the Sejuani, has some good impact, but isn't able to absorb resources and deal damage. That's a fine option, but what I want to see him back on something like the Graves, maybe even the Kindred, so that he can step up as a carry that we know he is for this team.
Just have to remember again, the Gragas can go top lane. It doesn't have to necessarily go jungle.
And Cabochard's actually one of the top laners that really liked this pick once it was sort of brought back in the meta. He played a bunch of games on that in the regular season.
Expecting a Trundle ban to come in from Vitality. It's something they've gone for almost every single game so far. And if it is going to be a tank jungler for Kikis, obviously the Trundle will be a good answer, but it's actually Sejuani to get rid of. So Trundle is available for Maxlor.
Now the Trundle's been available.
Kikis.
Yeah, I mean, it's been available all series long, and no junglers really wanted to go for it. It has been banned in the second rotation a few times, but largely it has fallen in priority from our other series, so I'm not actually convinced that these junglers want to go for that.
Deficio, I want you to look forward for me. I want you to take a look at this next 2 picks that Vitality have on the cards. Where do you think Gragas will land, and what do you anticipate Vitality to do?
I expect to know it after this pick here, coming in from Kikis' side.
So because Misfits banned the LeBlanc, Ryze is now open. The champion that is synonymous with Jizuke. He came in the spring split and tore apart the league with that option.
On the side of Misfits, Malzahar is then open as an answer to the Ryze, and that's why Vitality are not showing mid lane yet. It's gonna be Gragas jungle, so now we know it's gonna be a tank jungler for Kikis or on top lane. And if that Ryze gets picked, well, it's after we've already seen the choice from Misfits, so it's difficult now for them to actually get the counter pick against Jizuke. Will they take Ryze on their own for Senkux?
It's a tough ask for Senkux to step up with the Ryze, but I do love the Kindred here. I asked for Maxlor to play it, and actually with the Lulu, this is what worked against Fnatic. Now they have 2 marksmen that can try to cut down the triple tank front line that Vitality are bringing to these fights.
And of course, on the side of Senkux, only 1 game this split played on Ryze. Jizuke has the option to run it into the Lulu.
Yeah, of course he will do it. But that's again the smart thing about picking the Ornn. They're saying, you know what, Senkux, you're not going to pick this. You're not going to take this blind against us. We will save this last pick so we can get the champion. But this is game 1 Misfits with the Lulu. Endo, you asked for it after the last game. He said, you know what, just back on Lulu. want to see this pick here where the focus is on MaxLore on the carry and Hansama on the other one. So now Misfits are back towards a game one style.
Yeah, expect MaxLore to be playing very aggressive in the river, maybe get some counter jungling down as well for the first few levels. Then once level 6 comes around, that's where bottom lane really opens up with Hansama's ultimate to set up for ganks.
Now it is important to highlight when Jizuke is playing Ryze, he's a fantastic split pusher. He will look to be in that side lane all game long. And when he does that, no one can match him 1v1. But you do have a lot of engage coming in from Alistar, Varus, and Sion. So it's on Misfits to force the fights when Jizuke is going to the side lane. Otherwise, he just takes over the game.
And I have to ask everybody to think back to the tiebreaker Sunday that we had. Schalke versus Vitality and the 45-minute game where Jizuke won it for Vitality due to side lane pressure. He basically camped in that bottom lane and performed exceptionally well. He's back on what must be his signature champion when Vitality are on match point, are one game away from securing third place in summer.
Yamato Cannon has laid down the gauntlet here for Jizuke, putting the carry potential on him game after game after game. He destroyed Misfits with LeBlanc in the last game with individual outplays. Now he has to be smart. He has to use his ability to go into a side lane, pressure out Misfits to come away with the win.
Let's find out if Vitality can close it out right now or if we're going to game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Team Vitality taking on Misfits Gaming here in Madrid, Spain, in the Palacio Vistalegre. You can hear the crowd behind me cheering as we load up onto the Rift.
And it's a much better setup for Misfits in terms of how the team succeeds. Carry jungler, strong bot lane to play around. Can they execute it in this game? They have to.
So already at the start, we see Vitality entering into the jungle. Gragas can start with the body slam. Jack Troll on this Brum is very strong early on as well. I'm surprised we didn't see them place down a ward because I think tracking MaxLore in this early game is going to be very important to try and shut down him from scaling up and stacking up.
And I actually think on the side of Misfits, it's also going to be important to track Kikis because he showed last game with the Predator Gragas, he will gank you early. Like he tried multiple times, and if you're feeling too confident that he won't, he might surprise you, and you can't afford to fall behind, especially in the bottom lane if you're Misfits.
That's actually why we saw MaxLore actually walk to the top side and that, put down a Ghost Poro in the Pixel Brush up there. That'll give him insight if Kikis decides to go up into the top side of the river and look for an early Scuttle Crab, which he can then use to craft his own path for the best possible outcome.
So both junglers starting on bottom side, both getting leashes from their dual lanes. Both teams are fully aware. It's important for MaxLore on the carry that he has a successful early game. It's important for Kikis on the Gragas that he doesn't fall behind in this game here. It's, again, a pick that's not been super successful for Kikis specifically. But I think he got a little bit of redemption in the last game towards the team fights. Let's see MaxLore here. Expected for him to look early for topside plays. Can he invade as well?
Yeah, when you have the range advantage as a jungler with a red buff especially, it makes dueling so easy as long as your lanes have priority, which right now, top lane looks good for Misfits, but Jizuke is crushing that mid lane push.
Exactly, he's early pushing it in, so MaxLore can't really walk into the jungle of Kikis. He will simply die then to Jizuke's move.
We have to keep an eye on how that how the laning pressure plays out, because this is the first time that Alfari and Caboshot are not playing Cho'Gath into Sion. And for Alfari, as you've already mentioned, Deficio has the ability to walk his way down bot lane, use that ultimate to maybe play around the Alistar Varus, who are already trying to work on this bottom Scuttle Crab. I believe that denies a mark to MaxLore as well.
Yeah, but it will also deny a camp to Kikis. You assume with MaxLore playing around the top side at the moment, clearing away those camps, the Misfits are just going to be really happy to get that little bit of experience advantage and protection with the river, because when you pick a Varus, you expect to push in this bottom lane. They will have priority, and that leaves them vulnerable to a gank from Kikis.
Yeah, and with this Vitality draft, a lot more scaling is on their side compared to the last couple of games. And I'm definitely not expecting them, based on comps, to play as aggressive as we've seen so far during the series. They ideally want to wait for a couple of items.
But Deficio, I have to ask, maybe not based on comps, but I can see name tags. I can see Kikis, Jizuke, Attila. Do you think they're going to be patient?
It's hard for me to answer because it's Vitality. I want to see if they do go aggressive, that becomes their downfall.
Yeah, and actually from the way Kikis has passed, I do expect it to be very patient. He went for a full clear on the Gragas, not even looking for an early Scuttle Crab, so he is going to be a little bit down in EXP compared to Maxlord. That should make it a little bit less likely that he tries to make a play, unless one's just waiting right there for him to knock out of the park.
Well, he has the Predator now with the boots. Went back for, but yeah, we gotta say, this has been the slowest Vitality early game we've seen in all the playoffs. They haven't actually ganked anyone yet, and we're 4 minutes into the game.
This is actually really smart from Mickey if he can spot him. He does spot Kikis, very important, and puts this ward right here to make sure that Kikis can't sneak on over that wall. But actually, Attila takes a great trade.
Yeah, a lot of damage as Attila jumps forward with that arcane shift. The pulverize comes down from Mickey, manages to land the stun as well. And the piercing arrow follows through. So Attila, flash and heal blown, straight up 2v2 win.
Really nicely done. Mickey uses the dash there, the headbutt, to get in range for Attila, then knocks him up with the pull to get the summoners out of that AD carry.
And because Varus had all 3 abilities ready, he could activate his W, so his Q would deal that extra damage to low targets. That's why Attila had to use both summoners. Jizuke is controlling the mid lane, but he's not able to carry the game right now. Mickey is roaming.
He is indeed. Oh, Kikis actually decides to go forward.
That's aggressive.
Is this problematic? The flash body slam. That's a flash over the wall from Maxlord. Trying to throw down Wolf if he can. Not going to be able to follow it up just yet. Now Jizuke is in trouble. He gets caught by the Glitch.
Jack Troll's coming
on too. But with Jack Troll's help, it's Mickey that goes down. First blood to Jizuke. Blast Cone's going to be used by Maxlord, but he's going deeper into enemy territory. Gonzavaro's over the wall. Will he be able to deny? He's taken damage fairly recently, though.
Yeah, he's trying to get that execute. The rest of Vitality are still actually trying to chase him down, but it has been long enough, it certainly feels like, but he doesn't get it. The kill goes to Jizuke, a disaster for Misfits.
Such a bad start here, and a big thing around that mid lane was they were hoping Senkux could join them when it came down to finishing Kikis, but he was blocked by Jizuke. He was standing between the 2 aggressive members on Misfits and then the passive mid laner. And then Kikis survives, and by Jackson roaming from the bottom side, they can turn it around and get 2 kills on the rise. Look at the play here again. They know that Kikis will try and flash over the wall and escape, but if Senkux is able to join them when they're actually fighting him, they will kill him. But he's getting blocked. Minion wave, Jizuke, so it's only 2 players and they don't have the damage.
Damage reduction off of Kikis' belly chug there keeps him alive, and then Jizuke can make this turn. Mickey has no flash. Remember, use that to make the play, but it's just too aggressive.
Oh, and how fortunate is it that Jizuke picks up the 2nd kill as well, the last person to tag and kill Maxlord. Now, of course, taking a look at Jizuke, his carry performances this series have already been very, very impressive. If you look, game 1, game 2, game 3, plus 16, plus 38, plus 9, CSD at 15. The anti-playoff buff? Well, that's definitely not true. And gentlemen, we talked about his rise. 6 games played this year. It's been banned against Vitality, what feels like an eternity. And Deficio, 7.1 KDA, 4 wins, 2 losses. And those are pretty stellar stats in your first professional year.
Very, very true. Jizuke is a fantastic Rise player, and he cannot ask for a better start. But again, on the side of Misfits, looking for that aggressive play without any mid lane control really hurt them.
Once you fall down, actually, on a jungler like this, Kindred, it becomes very difficult to have that same, confidence going in for those types of plays. He's only level 5 on the Kindred. Yes, he has the red buff, but if he ever tries to make a play now without the flash, it is so easy to punish him on that Syla champion.
Now, while we were in that replay where Jizuke got the double, Cabochard did go all in on Alfari. He wasn't able to pick up the kill, but he was able to get him down very, very low, 200 odd hit points or so. Cabo was teleported back to the top lane. Alfari opted to use his ultimate.
And despite the little setback from Misfits, the plan is still the same. Bot lane is where you need to win. They're still having push constantly. Hantam is level 6 now. The only thing you're missing is Mickey's ulti and his flash. But apart from that, you have the tools to actually bully out Vitality's bottom lane and try and secure this bot lane turret.
But the key for them, I really feel like, has to be to actually get the priority out of mid lane, because if Jizuke is just shoving in these waves endlessly, he can realm warp down there and actually really turn these types of fights, these types of plays that Misfits want to make around. So we're going to have to see Maxlord actually visit mid lane first to help Senkux get that shove, and then use that window where Jizuke still has to clear away the waves in order to set up for that type of dive or play around bot.
Yeah, it's so hard for him, because if he goes mid and Kikis is there, you lose the 2v2. With Jizuke now getting a bunch of early kills on his side, and Senkux sitting on absolutely nothing at this point. He will go back soon, have to assume, and start building towards Luden's Echo. But it's a tough spot around mid lane because of the kills. they still have that winning bot. And it has to be a successful play that gives them a bot lane turret that actually snowballs Misfits forward.
Well, Misfits are 600 gold down, despite being 2 kills down. The CS advantage for Hans Sama has allowed the Berserker's Greaves and the recurve bow to be picked up. It's only a 200 difference. And you can see the gold differences between the respective lanes. Not that monumental. It hasn't equated into a big enough itemization spike just yet. And every time I see Kikis on screen, I hold my breath. Because it doesn't matter what time of the game it is, only 9 minutes in, there's always a potential for Kikis to engage.
Yeah, he's ready to make a play. They put down deep vision to set up for Jizuke to roam into this bottom lane. The bot lane, Hansama and Mickey X expect this, and they're going to have to back away and sacrifice an entire minion wave just because of that threat.
Look at the defensive vision being set up by Misfits. They've got 2 control wards around that bottom lane tower. So respectful play, understanding Vitality's play style and decision-making. Misfits don't fall prey, but they are losing pressure in the lane that they're meant to have pressure.
It's what Ender talked about before. Mid lane priorities in favor of Vitality, making it so much harder to play on the bottom side. Now it is traded. It's now actually Senkux and Maxlow push, so they can move down and kill some of the vision on the bottom side, but they want to set up this play. And man, they also want to get that ulti on Mickey.
Yeah, they definitely love to. Now, I do want to say that Vitality showed a lot of growth right there, because in their series against Schalke, they made a mistake. They didn't have deep vision to set it up. Now Kikis is making a play on towards Senkux.
He is. Predator's been thrown down. Maxwell's lingering around. There's a potential player breaking out down bottom as well. Chain of Corruption lands onto Jack Troll. Glacial Fissure comes out. Hansama's not knocked up, but Jack Troll is. He's now trying to run for his life. Stunned down by that Alistar passive. Jack Troll down to 200 hit points. Hansama decides not to flash for the kill. The Ignite will not secure. While all that was going on, the 2v2 was trading back and forth in the mid lane as well.
And Kikis actually lost that flash in the engage because Senkux and Maxor were grouped together to try and bully him out of the river. That gave space for the bot lane of Misfits to make that really aggressive trade.
Now, I just want to quickly highlight some stats. When Hansama has won games this series with Misfits, it's when Maxor has spent time around him, with him. Stats team did just ping me and talk a little bit about the jungle proximity in their win. 21% from Maxwell. Maxwell this game spending a little bit more time around that mid lane, and this time around, Hansama's coming to meet him.
He wants that mark, man, but all of Vitality is grouped up, guarding that camp to keep it safe. But yes, Hansama has been so good, but Misfits need kills on him. He's on a champion that can do much better in the early to mid game than Tristana, but he doesn't have that same setup to get him to the powerful itemization he needs to really do well in fights.
Trying to show the replay, there was some potential fighting around the mid lane. Actually turned into a fight when Kikis jumped in and instantly had to flash out, so his flash is gone. There's a small advantage for Misfits, but the mid lane trading is heavily in favor of Jizuke, and we still didn't get that advantage around the bottom lane we needed from Misfits.
So a little bit worrying for the Misfits side, but I have to ask a question. Kikis, that's twice now we've seen him body slam forward and then instantly run away. Now the last time it worked out, right? There was enough members of Vitality around for Jizuke to pick up that double kill. Need to see if that comes back to haunt him if he oversteps later in the series.
Yeah, we know that Kikis is a very aggressive player, sometimes a little bit too much, and that's why I actually wanted to bring it back to the fact that they were getting the deep vision to set up for some nice plays, which is something that really cost them in their series against Schalke. Again, you just saw Jack Troll do very similar things to scout out the red buff from Maxlor, so we'll have to see whether or not Kikis wants to make a play there.
So much damage. Now, Wild Growth and Cleanse still in Senkux's, back pocket, so it would need a lot more for Jizuke to take him up, but just look at how much control this is giving Vitality.
Yeah, he's just forcing him back so he gets to push first, and he can move first to join a potential fight. It is so hard for Misfits to do anything.
Going to be unable to defend themselves. Vitality are now actually surrounding Mickey and
teleport.
Hansama. Teleport coming in from Alfari. Jack Troll is the first target. Gets a 2-man knockup with the Fissure. Senkuk is stuck on the onside of the jungle, and Misfits with their first kill. Maxlor, he's flashing over the wall.
No
Unstoppable Onslaught's going to turn his attention to Kikis. No flash, remember, because he used it in the mid lane engage. That's a double kill for Senkuk.
Double kill for Senkux, and it sets Misfits up. Try and steal away this blue buff, take the Drake themselves, and maybe even that bottom lane turn. That's the best case scenario for Misfits.
Yeah, that TP advantage from Alfari was huge because Vitality walked into that jungle again, trying to stop a red buff. Misfits knew we can actually react. They will get bot lane turret down as well if they fully commit to it. Another wave, it's on its way.
And it seemed like a bit of a miscommunication there too from Vitality, because at the start of the play, Caboshard was actually running down to try and group up with them. But then at the same time, Jack Troll got knocked back into the rest of the team. He'd already left back towards top, and Alfari was able to punish with the TP.
And earlier in this game here, we mentioned how, based on the draft, Vitality they don't need to do a whole lot in this early game other than just make sure Daisuke can push his lane. But based on the team and the players, they will try. And they walk into this red buff knowing they have control of mid, but they're not respecting the TP on the side of Alfari. And the moment it comes down, everyone scatters and try and run away, and that suddenly means 2 members are caught.
Just getting those kills on Senkux too, and he was struggling in this mid lane matchup. You saw Jizuke punishing him time after time. Jizuke got donated that double kill very early on into the match, so this will hopefully neutralize those future rotations that Jizuke wants to make.
And now Misfits, after getting bot lane turret, did not lose anything in return because you had 2 members dead on Vitality, so they could go top side. Riftel is still alive. They can now play around this side with the strong bot lane they have. They have tower dive potential with Mickey on the Alstein, his ulti. One big play in their favor, they get turret and a Rift Herald, and suddenly this game is just so heavily in their favor.
Well, Misfits are already 1,000 gold up thanks to that previous play. They were in fact 1,000 gold down.
But the response can be a mid lane turret soon. Jizuke is dealing a lot of damage to it. Can Misfits buy enough time though? Can they get Rift Herald?
The answer is no, because gentlemen, Vitality want to fight. Vitality want to fight. Teleport comes in from Cabo Shard. The Orn Horn is called. Hansama forced to flash, no knockup. Blue buff gets triggered to chase down Maxlor. All of a sudden, there's a body slam onto Alfari. He flashes over the wall. Root comes down into Mickey. He's going to use that ultimate defensively, not to tower dive, not to push the lead. Instead, just to save his life.
Misfits get away with murder right there. They have to use some summoner spells, but getting the Herald is so important. 2 flashes, if they can get a tower in exchange, is 100% worth it for them.
Let's see what happens right after this and where they can actually place down the Herald, because right now they have to return from base after everyone having to effectively flash out and run back. Kabushad had a good ulti on Ansama, but this is actually a play from before. This the no TP on top side from Cabo means Vitality, when they're actually playing aggressive, well, they're going to be outnumbered. So you get the play.
And you actually saw Cabochard walking back up into the top lane. Oh, let's check this one out, because Alfari, he comes in for the ulti. He misses a little bit, but it's still enough to lock down this kill onto Kikus, and that led into a great situation where Misfits used the numbers advantage to take a tower, rotate top, get a Herald. Now, where are they going to use that Herald? That's the big question.
Well, look for Alfari to push the bot lane and then either go mid or top and place down that Herald. He can go straight mid if he wants now, or he can simply recall, ult up towards the top lane, set up a play there, and then Herald after. There's a lot of ways for Misfits to continue snowballing this, and they have to, because they're only 100 gold ahead.
And mid lane's going to be the call. You see Attila top lane, Cabochard bottom lane. There's 5 members of Misfits grouped up mid. They have the Herald to try and knock this down, and maybe even try to go for a team fight, which they're feeling very strong at the moment.
And you can feel the rumble here in Spain as the wave is doing the rounds. Now the boop from the Rift Herald, not enough to kill a tower just yet. There wasn't enough of a minion wave to work with either. Misfits, they still maintain some semblance of control, but where is this Realm Warp? It is chasing onto Maxlor. Whoa! Decimating smash, disengage for that one. I really wanted a fight to break out, but kudos to Alfari.
That was so sick. The man doesn't have flash, but he doesn't carry sticks right there. And now, because Vitality are down by Dragon, Misfits are going in.
All of a sudden, this is Jizuke in trouble. Chain of Corruption starting to
He's alive!
Damage applied. Call of the Forge God knocks up the carry from Misfits. Alfari comes in.
Whoa.
Looking for a decimating smash. It gets interrupted. The Lamb's Respite is buying a lot of time, but all of a sudden Alfari will go down, will get taken out, and Misfits, they are unable to turn it around. Attila, Arcane shifts forward, looking for a kill into Mickey, but he can't get enough damage.
Misfits saw a huge opening right there, but they didn't realize that after the initial engage, they couldn't actually follow into a choke point. They were standing with Jack Troll in front, with the Brahmi just defending Jizuke, and while Alfari got to the backline, no one could follow.
No, you need Alfari standing in front of your carries. The front line has to be there for Misfits. They also went for the aggressive call. It would have been an easy tower secure had they not gone for the engage, had they just walked up and hit that tower, but instead, they made the turn after this insane setup from
Yeah,
Alfari.
that's the first play where it's the greatest disengaged Sion Q
Ever.
we've seen.
Insane.
It then turns into a fight when Mickey thinks they can one-shot Jizuke, but Jackson will jump in, block the remaining damage, and the ulti from Cabochard as well is perfect to stop the carries, and now you can't follow.
I mean, it looks great from Alfari in the backline too, until you realize there's no one else there for him. He's gonna get CC'd and not really be able to get the greatest of channels off on that knockup, and the whole fight just fizzled out there from what looks like a really great start.
That's unfortunate for Misfits. They couple plays in a row now that they're, swing and a miss, trying to build something up. It's 18 minutes in. Vitality have clawed back that small goal deficit that they had, and we're getting into a very close, very entertaining mid-game. All of our previous games at this point had basically been decided. The previous games of the series, by 18 minutes in game, the team that had the several thousand gold lead went on to win it out. So let's see what these teams are like with an even footing in the mid-game.
Yeah, this only benefits Vitality right now with their draft, and especially with Jizuke on 3 kills, fully stacked tier. He's in that side lane already, and he's going to be a monster. No one can stop him 1v1, so Misfits have to force team fights with 5 members.
And their 5 members, their team fights look really strong with double marksman, Lulu, and an insane frontline of All-Star Sign. They have the tools to engage, they have the damage to back it up, but there's also a lot of disengage from Vitality to try and thwart those attempts.
Yeah, I really like that gold graph showing you it's 1,000 gold either way, and it has swung back and forth. Each team has made a play or punished a proactive play. And right now, Hansama's in so much trouble. Teleport is coming down up in the top lane, but I think it won't be enough. It won't be early enough, and Alfari will not be able to join. So that's Hansama down.
Yeah, so Misfits were getting pushed in mid, and Hansama continued just pushing top, not respecting Vitality to just move up in the river and actually kill him. And it's once again Vitality with the control in this game, and they're just punishing these mistakes.
And they're making plays on both sides of the map because they get the kill top, Jizuke splitting down bottom lane, because as you said, Alfari can just try his best to clear waves, but really doesn't stand a chance up against this Rise. So Vitality are now the ones in the driver's seat, and with some very low turrets, can knock those down to try and balloon a gold lead.
Oh, this will soon be a big goal lead for Vitality unless Misfits find that perfect opening, but it doesn't look like it right now. The engage has to come from Mickey or a Sign ulti flying in from the side.
And it's not worked yet. Misfits have not found that opportunity. Vitality, 1 dead Nexus away from 3rd seed, 1 dead Nexus away from improving on their spring split performance and really, showing up in the second half of summer. Of course, remember, Kikis has joined the team. Had a stat from the stats team coming into this game that this year, Vitality have played 21 games in playoffs. Deficio, do you know the previous iterations of Vitality played a total of 4 playoff games in the EU LCS? It has been a very successful year already, but the cherry on the cake is making it to Worlds, and that means win here, and they become Fnatic's biggest fans tomorrow.
Let's see with Mickey. He's trying to get over the wall, but...
Or back in the...
realize he can't actually do it. Or get on to Jackal at least.
Misfits really want this mid turret.
Because again, this is the answer. They're moving Alfari in, they're sacrificing the bottom side, trying to force a play.
So what do Misfits do? Group mid and force the fight under the tower.
All right, Unstoppable Onslaught comes down. The Glacial Fissure went defensive route for Jackal. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. Hansama's Chain of Corruption spreads, and he manages to pick up the first kill. Now stepping forward, Call of the Forge God catches 2. Mickey's going to be taken out as he goes back in, buying some time. Knocks Attila backwards, but all of a sudden Misfits have got the Lamb's Respite just in time. Saves Misfits' lives, but Jizuke and Attila are very healthy. Red buff on Attila means those Mystic shots are going to do so much work.
Attila's still jumping forward. Jizuke gets the realm work. Senkux is isolated, but he has the flash to try and escape from this fight.
That was a 2-for-1 win here, Misfits. If Senkux can actually stay alive, but Kikis, he's getting close.
Well, there is a tower in the top lane to work it. The Glitter Lance will buy some time. The rest of Vitality can easily tower dive. It looks like Jizuke is going to come up to work with him, though. I think it's just a matter of time. That's right, Senkux will stay alive a few seconds longer. Jizuke will be donated the kill. This will be the 4th of his game, and instead it's Kikis that secures it.
So 2 for 2, both TPs used on the side of Vitality to collapse. They will also get a top lane turret. And they're just showing right now. They don't even have to stick to split push. They can actually try and match some of the team fight.
Yeah, it just ends up being an exactly even trade overall because the turret in the mid lane fell down in favor of Misfits. These fights are going to be bloody. These fights are going to be long. But now that Senkux has the Ardent Sensor for his double marksman, they're going to look slightly better for Misfits.
He's missing a rage plate on his AD carry, but it's going to be there soon. This is what we talk about. 5 men together, that's how you stop split push. Important to note, Vitality don't have to TP in here. They can actually just say, fine, we lose our support, it's okay, we can push bottom side. But they feel confident taking the fight. 4 versus 5, and Cabochard is playing this perfectly in the backline, seizing 3 members for so long.
The important thing here is that Till and Jizuke are basically full, but Hansam and Senkux were taken so low by Cabochard's Ornn that makes them on the defensive running away, but you can't very well run away from an Ezreal and a Rise.
No, so difficult to do so, especially when Tilla's Ezreal also had the red buff. Deficio, during the course of that replay, Hansama did pick up the Rage Blade, so 2-item spike for Senkux and Hansama.
Yeah, so that is huge, and Mickey's flash is ready. You now have your other way of starting a fight that is not just Alfari ulting from lane. That is huge. If Misfits, despite being down now, can actually force a team fight and use this Varus to win, they still have a way to get back in this game. that doesn't happen, Jizuke and Vitality will just continue getting further and further ahead and win through split push.
I'll take a look at this. Mountain Drake is up. Vitality already have a cloud under their belt. Just a reminder that tomorrow, Fnatic take on Schalke. Fnatic defending their title from spring against the new challengers up-and-comers Schalke 04. Amazing is on the verge of being the first player ever to win an NA and EU LCS title, but it would mean toppling the titans that are Fnatic. And of course, that's what Vitality does not want, and because Vitality want to go to Worlds and they want Fnatic to win. And let's see if Vitality can fend off this pressure.
Yeah, they're thinking about going in for this fight, but the rest of Misfits don't want to give up any ground. Right now, they have control around this Baron area, but are being slowly pushed back here for Vitality because Kikis still has the body slam flash, still has the cast to find an engagement.
Yeah, looking at the vision, there's not a great amount of wards really on either side around the Baron pit. It's 25 minutes into the game. 2.5, 3 items picked up. By the way, Jizuke just bought his Void Staff within the last 60 seconds. Chain of Corruption misses. It's not the first time and it's not the last time you'll see a Varus ultimate go wide.
Obviously, it isn't Hansama's job to actually be the main engage right here. Mickey isn't near Kikis.
Oh, holding that pressure. Jizuke's in the top lane. If he shows, all of a sudden Misfits pull the trigger. Can Vitality respond quickly enough? Mickey goes very, very low. He's holding onto his own ultimate. All of the Forge Guard comes out. 1, 2, 3, slow 2, knocked up. Round Warp comes out from Jizuke.
Here we go!
He's already in trouble. Lands Lespin, not going to be close enough to save Mickey's life. All of a sudden, Misfits, this might just be it. Done. Double kill for Jizuke. And all of a sudden, Vitality can peel back for Baron.
Vitality have it all. They took out the bottom lane, the main playmakers from Misfits. Now they're on the Baron. Maxlor has no chance of stealing this objective away.
Oh, Jizuke was hoping Maxlor would walk into the river, try and get close to the Baron. He would just kill him instantly. He's dropping low. Here we go. Maxlor on his way, but he can't get there in time.
Oh, this is so, so close. Maxwell still got that flash, but now he's trying to put some damage down. Actually, that's a kill onto Jackshot. Baron is already secured, though. But look at Jizuke! He just destroys Maxwell. Alfari flashes over the wall once more, and Vitality are looking to chase. Kikis with the body slam. Can he find the target? Gletzelance will be used to slow him down, and instead Vitality 6,000 gold up. Baron already secured, and they're pushing for the base.
Yeah, and this whole thing starts again with Misfits never fully able to commit properly to the fight, missing ults here and there, not getting the proper engage with Mickey. And Vitality, they know, oh, they just failed the main thing they have to do to win the game. We can now respond. We can now win the fight. They're trying again.
Well, let's take a look. Is there some sort of recourse? Finally, Jizuke goes down. It's a shutdown as well. That's huge.
Attila?
Attila takes down Mickey. Now he's trying to look for a little bit more damage. Hansama and Senkex back away. Wild Growth was already used. And Vitality, with 3 minutes still to play with and a lot of gold to spend, they back out.
I have to say, though, Hansama just picked up 800 gold off the shutdown kill onto Jizuke. If Misfits have a chance, have a hope of coming back in this game, defending from the Baron, and making us go to a Game 5, it is going to be off of Hansama with that shutdown money.
And let's see whether or not they can, because it is a difficult position to be in. And one thing that is good for Misfits is they do have their inhibitor turrets still left to defend and use that power of Hansama. Now, this was the reply kill.
This was the kind of play they hoped for earlier before they lost the Baron. The flash engage onto someone like Jizuke, and they actually do manage to lock him down in time and kill him, but obviously still lose something in the end, and that's the problem when you're this far down. You're never really getting just a 1 for 0 in your favor.
That damage from Attila, man, jumping forward with the Mystic Shot, so strong right now with his 3 core items, double tiers stacking away with the second one, and they still have the Baron buff to play with.
You talked about 3 items there, and Hansama has the Hurricane now to back up the Rage Blade and Blade of the Ruined King. One last stand, one last set of defense for Misfits is all that remains before they are dropped to the first round of the regional qualifier if they lose this series.
You have to remember, when Hansama wants to stand still and auto-attack, that on ulti from Kabushad has been on point in this game. He had to constantly stop this backline from dealing damage.
Now, Mickey used his flash to get the kill on Jizuke. That's why he's playing in the Fog of War. He has Hex Flash, so if he can find an engagement, that would be the tool he can use. But he stepped right into vision, so Vitality are going to play a little more cautiously.
Yeah, and he will get spotted by the control ward on the right side as well. If he tries to move up near the wall, actually tried to find a ward himself with his own control ward. We'll get killed.
So Zuke now back in the top lane. This is what we want to see from Vitality. They have Baron buffs. They're going to use that to push in the top wave, look for another tower. Misfits, though, ideally want to force fights.
And honestly, at this point, Hansama just has to ult. Like, that is now, because you have no flash on Mickey, the way to start the fight here.
Oh!
Defensive flash from Hansama means the explosive cast doesn't send him into Vitality's waiting hands, but Jazuke is going to be able to secure a tower. Chain of Corruption starts to sprint. Cabo shot, not necessarily the best target. Here comes Jack Troll. Call of the Forge God comes out and knocks up Hansama. Hansama's low, not dead yet. Lamb's Respite keeps him alive. That was fantastic timing from Maxwell. But all of a sudden, Jazuke is tearing apart Misfits. Attila's got the first kill, manages to find a second kill, and Alfari and Zombie.
They're still going!
Here comes a Realm Warp. Attila jumps all the way forward. Arcane shifts back out. This will open up the base in favor of Vitality.
There's a teleport coming into the top lane. Vitality want at least 2 inhibitors. 4 members to the 3 on the side of Misfits, but Hansama is low, or Attila rather, is low on mana. Can Misfits do anything?
Oh, let's see. Maxwell is dancing around. He has no ulti.
All right, first inhibitor is just about to fall down. One belly boop away. Maxwell's trying to do what he can. The piercing arrow from Hansama drops Jazuke low. It will only be 1 inhibitor for now, but it is all Vitality need to break open the base.
Yeah, and we're seeing these fights here. It's a single damage dealer. Hansama trying to burn through massive tanks on the other side, while Jazuke and Attila are able to take down the Misfits front line in time. He's simply not able to deal enough damage right now with the team being behind. This is the initial start here where the flash is being forced, and we call for Hansama's ult to start the fight. He gives it to us, but now they're only dealing with tanks.
And it's actually a really awkward setup here for Vitality with Attila on the side, but Misfits are actually really slow to go onto him. They focus down the support in Jackdaw, so now he's sitting over the wall, throwing out Mystic shots. Jazuke is untouched as well, so they're able to clean up in this fight and eventually bring in both carries to force Misfits away.
That's the problem. You might kill the 1 tank in the front, but there's still 2 fit carries behind the tanks. Both Attila and Jazuke have shown great team fights during this series. And we keep talking about Jazuke because he's the big story with him going back to carries, but Attila is just constantly able to actually do so much in these fights.
And seeing, of course, Jack Troll go back to something a little more understandable and expected.
Give me that Braum Alistar Jack Troll every time, man.
The Leona game 1 of this series is long but forgotten. Right place at the right time. And I think the whole Vitality team needs some praise. Cabo Shot's 3 games of Scion, a little bit underspoken or whatever, because the game was really about the other players on the squad, but his Call of the Forge Gods on this Ornn have been team fight changing.
Exactly. Now he's here to group up with the team and let Jazuke be the man on the other side of the map. Look at this. Jazuke actually waiting in the brush, waiting for the rest of Misfits to stow themselves. Then he can set up that push and try to just choke Misfits out across the board.
And Ender, we talked about Jazuke's split push rise, how he's done that multiple times in the past, and it has led to the last few team fights. Jazuke again pushing the top lane, flash available for Mickey, but he needs to find a crucial target.
Exactly, and Jazuke, the man without flash, is not here, so you can't go for him instantly. He will be spotted now, knowing that he put down the control ward.
What are Vitality most scared of? It's a flank from Mickey and a TP flank from Alfari. They have control wards littered in the lane to make sure that Alfari can't sneak in from behind. So Misfits, all their tools are going to be coming straight at the face of Vitality.
Misfits have already been pulled across the map multiple times this series and have been found wanting. A couple of times in games 2 and games 3, it's Vitality that got the advantage by playing multiple lanes at once.
And Mickey is trying to threaten against Jazuke without the flash, saying, hey, I can actually combo you and we can maybe kill you in that side lane. He's even moving behind him. Maxwell's there with him. It's a 2v1 on that side, while the rest of Misfits try to defend bot.
Alfari and Hansama need to do something to stop this bottom lane push. Call of the Forge God comes out, and once again, not going to find the target. All of a sudden, Jazuke stays alive. He's managed to find the way back in, and Alfari is already down. He's in zombie Scion mode. 5 versus 4. Vitality are on the cusp of taking the series.
And all their engaged tools are down. No flash on Mickey. 4 members here without an Alfari to soak up the damage. The minions are in the base. The inhibitors are down. Vitality are looking for more than just this. They're looking for the win.
Oh, they're getting the 3rd inhib right now. Jazuke will take it down.
There's no chain of corruption on the side of Hansama. No flash either. Kikis is going to respect the potential damage and flashes over the wall. Baron is alive. 3 inhibitors are down, and Vitality with a 10,000 gold lead want to finish this one out clean not run the risk of being aced at the Nexus.
Now, Misfits have about 30 seconds before Super Minions start getting into their base. During this time, they can put down some vision, so they're grouped up, trying to spread out and clear these wards away. But Vitality are still staying here, still posturing in the river to try and stop Misfits from getting down that vision.
Fari's got that teleport available to him if he wants to jump into a fight. Jizuke's in the top lane. Chain of Corruption is going to connect on the kickers, but it's simply not long enough time. Look at the damage of the Hunt Summer. True Shot Barrage destroys his HP bar. Call of the Forge God comes out, and Hunt Summer's knocked up in the air. Jack Troll maybe having
He's killed by Jack Troll!
And he does! Jack Troll does it! Lamb's Respite not only thrown down by Maxlaw, but it simply will not be enough to save Misfits' hopes. And the base is being focused down. Maxlaw is dead, and Vitality have just done it.
Jizuke is still in the base. It's just Alfari here trying to defend away from this, but Jizuke is chunking the towers. The rest of Vitality are on the way. This is it, Trevor.
It is a matter of time. Vitality have silenced the summer split critics, have improved upon their spring split 4th place. And for Vitality, it is a matter of time. Jizuke looks to blow up Senkux, takes him out underneath the fountain, and Vitality are one step closer to Worlds. Vitality are your 3rd best team in Europe.
And so much credit and respect to Jizuke. Look at the man. He gets to play carries. He gets to show that he can get Vitality towards Worlds. They only need Fnatic to win the split, and then they will be Europe's 2nd seed. What a performance from the team, and it's fantastic to see them celebrate.
Vitality, 4th in spring, 3rd in summer, are so much closer to Worlds. What a development and an improvement for a team that was new to the LCS, was promoted. The majority of these players came in under the Giants moniker, were picked up by the Vitality organization. 2 top 4 places in the 2018 season is to be proud of.
100%. And man, I love the fact that in game 3, Yamada Cannon says to Jizuke, you're getting LeBlanc, you're gonna carry this game. He carries the game. Game 4, they leave his Rise open. We said, oh, this is scary. He gets the Rise, and he carries again.
Jizuke's LeBlanc was so good that Misfits took away their Rise band that they'd done all series long, replaced it for LeBlanc, and then Jizuke said, well, I'm gonna play this champion, I'm gonna tear you apart.
And that's exactly what happened. We've said it multiple times, I'll just say it one more time. If Fnatic win tomorrow, Fnatic and Vitality will be your 1st and 2nd seeds representing Europe at the World Championships. For Misfits, that loss means they are in round 1 of the regional qualifier and will face off against Splice next Friday when we start that back in the Berlin studio.
Exactly. Long road for Misfits if they want to make Worlds after losing this game here. They tried to play around Hansama. It wasn't successful today.
Vitality are just the better early game team fighting team on the day. You know, game 1, it looked really shaky from them, but they came back with a plan in games 2, 3, and 4. Yamato Can, I think the Glaps were fantastic at shutting down every single strategy that Misfits tried to throw at them.
Seeing the emotion across the entirety of this team, across the support staff, the owners, the managers, it puts a lump in my throat. You can feel the passion these guys have, and they are tantalizingly close to showing what they have on an international stage in South Korea.
And that's what I love. It's a huge investment from the Vitality organization, and it's also an investment into European talent, saying that these young guys who just qualified with Giants at the start of 2018, they're actually good enough to make us a top team in Europe, good enough to potentially get us to Worlds. And I love the fact it's succeeding, it's working. They wanted to be in the final. They were very disappointed when they lost to Schalke, but I think this one is such a big one for them.
And how heartbreaking now, you look at that semi-final performance and you look at this 3rd place performance and you go, if you took name tags off, would you say it's the same team? It's a question we're gonna have to discuss and explore, because right now, see the celebration, huge cheers from the Vitality squad, family members of course as well.
One of the most loyal fans.
Yes.
Jack Troll's
Definitely the most loyal.
Jack Troll's granddad. He introduced himself to me and he actually asked for a shout out last weekend.
Now
He gets a shout out now.
Here in Madrid. Now, of course, I want to turn the attention a little bit of a lens to the Misfits squad, because while Vitality's story is one of success, of development, of improvement, Yes, Misfits, no playoffs in spring, 4th in summer. Regional qualifiers, they can still salvage the year by making the miracle run. But it is difficult for an organization that had the one-year plan last year that made it to quarterfinals at Worlds Deficio for me to see exactly how they're going to do that when we already know a few of the teams in that gauntlet.
They were missing the 2-year plan, seeing as in the second year when they made 2 roster changes, it's not been as successful for the team. Now, I also want to highlight, I think the competition around them has gotten better here in Europe. It's been harder for them to do what they did in 2017, but once again, it's fantastic to see a team who puts so much into this, so many emotions, actually succeed.
It's fantastic. I mean, we looked at Amazing last week and his emotions after the game. Well, it feels like it's almost tenfold in this match to every single player realizing how much it means with family, with friends in the audience as well. It doesn't feel any better than that for these players.
Absolutely fantastic work. It's really great to see Vitality celebrating. And of course, we will be speaking to the players at some point in the not too distant future. We're going to relish this moment in front of the thousands of fans here in Madrid.
And I gotta say, if this team ends up making Worlds as our second seed, watch out in the group stage. Because these are the kind of guys going in to these best of ones who will have so many surprises ready and will just be so aggressive in the way they play.
Yeah, it's great too, because usually you get into Worlds and teams play a little bit slower, draft for late game. We've already seen the meta starting to shift that way. This team is stubborn. They know the way they win games, and it's through dominating in the early game, and they should change nothing if they manage to make it to the international stage.
No, I highly doubt they will. I highly doubt they will. I very much look forward to a world where Vitality are trash-talking some opponents in the international stage. That's what I hope for. Look, we want to know what you guys, who do you think should be player of the series? Head over to @LOL Esports on Twitter. And the 3 players that are nominated for this series, your 3rd place from Vitality is Jizuke, Attila, and Cabochard. Cabochard, the unsung hero. For a little bit more on Vitality's win, we're going to send it to Dracos, who's standing by with Attila.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by the victorious Attila. Now, my friend, it all started here in Spain on Giants. You're back in Spain again, here in Madrid. How does it feel to win in front of your home crowd?
I mean, this should have been a final, you know? Like, this should have really been a final. Like, I wanted to bring it home, like here in Madrid with all the people that always believed in us when we were in the LVP. We were like smashing everyone, and we said that we will do it here as well. But it feels really good, but it feels so sad that this is not a final, and I don't know, it feels kind of confusing.
Sounds a little bittersweet, but to me, it sounds like the people here in Madrid are proud of this Vitality performance. Now, you said it yourself. These Spanish fans have been supporting you since the LVP, since you guys were crushing. Is there anything that you'd like to say to them?
Can I say it in Spanish?
Oh, of course, my friend.
Solo quería decir que vosotros sois demasiado buenos para nosotros, en serio, desde la LVP. Hace menos de un año estábamos en última plaza en la LVP y hoy en día estamos casi disputando una segunda plaza para los mundiales, por lo que si vamos allá, que sepáis que España está representada. Muchas gracias.
You just got to give it a moment to breathe. Absolutely love it, the fans here in Madrid. Now, as you well know, you are one step away from the world stage. Fnatic wins tomorrow. Vitality is Europe's second seed. If that happens, what is next for you? What is next for Vitality?
I mean, tomorrow is going to be a really special day because I really want Fnatic to win. It will be a dream come true for me and for my team, but Guillote is on the other side as well, so I wish him the best. I think he'll do great series, but I just hope that Fnatic takes it home and we'll just crush everyone in group stages. I'm sure about that.
I think that's what every European fan wants to hear when you're talking about someone representing Europe at World. Congrats again on the win, Attila. That is going to be it from us here. Let's send it over to the casters.
Well, thank you very much, Dracos. It's fantastic to hear the confidence coming out from Attila, the crowd backing him up, supporting him as well. And I mean, after a performance like that, he should be confident like he is there.
He played extremely well in this game. It wasn't really the guy we focused on because so much was around Jizuke, but as we said during that last game here, in every single team fight, he was constantly positioning correctly, getting a ton of damage out, and when everyone was looking towards Jizuke, can we kill him? Well, Attila would just take you down.
Yeah, well, let's look at some of that positioning. Let's get another look at the final fight brought to you by Acer Predator. Maxlore going on in. You gotta love it. But that's where the turn comes around for Vitality, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is obviously desperation from Misfits.
And Jack Troll getting to the assassination there.
That is the best way to end the game for Jack Troll because he actually started this series so poorly with the Leona pick, but he went back to comfort. Alistar Braum, especially the Braum pick here, was actually huge for him in these fights. And of course, Jizuke stays in the side lanes by pushing.
Of course, he's going to end up finishing the game with the rest of the team coming on in, but it was fantastic to see. Vitality, game one was rough for them, but they really turned it around. I think Yamato Cannon, a huge factor in that, coming back with a very strong plan in the draft to enable players like Attila to really drive it home for Vitality.
Yeah, and that's a very good point because a lot of people looked at the draft in the semifinal against Schalke and said, ooh, that's not great. You know, Yamato Cannon, what's happening here? There's barely any win conditions on your side, or maybe like one successful early game play, and if that doesn't happen, the team just falls apart. But this one, because they knew they had an advantage in the mid lane, they could go back to these carries that Jizuke played in spring when he was so successful and everyone was hyping him as one of these new big EU mid laners. It gave them more ways to play the game. It was not just about one play in the bottom lane. It was suddenly actually a lot about getting mid lane ahead, and then you can play these big team fights.
Well, that was fantastic. But for more on tonight's action, let's head over to Shucks and Friends in the ULCS post-game lobby.